This is Scott, Comic Book Hangover, with what I believe may be my final video of 2019. Next week's gonna be a really small week. Books aren't gonna be out until Thursday. It's holidays. My little guy's out of school. We got a lot of stuff going on, and I kind of want to take some time to rearrange my room maybe a little bit, have it look a little bit different when we start the videos after the first of the year. New posters, new everything. So this may be my final video. I'm also kind of toying with the idea of having a different sort of, I guess, format. A little something different at the end of the video, the way I show my wall, that people seem to really enjoy seeing. So I definitely want to focus on that a little bit. So this is going to be my last haul video for the week. Now, as you can tell, if once I show you, I got quite a few books this week. Some of these are from last week, but as I'm sure anybody who went down to their LCS this week knows, this was a very big week this week. So we're just going to kind of jump into it, get this going here. We're going to start off with reprints, because there's a lot of reprints. This week we wrapped up Marvel's Annihilation Scourge storyline. I'll get into that here in a second. So this also means we're wrapping up the True Believers Scourge Annihilation reprints. So we've got Annihilation Mantis. This reprints Avengers number 112. Nice, a lot of red on this cover. Now this is also kind of what I'm talking about, where when I get to the DC reprints, DC keeps the covers basically intact now, whereas Marvel will change the logos to match whatever it is that they're doing. I'm not really too fond of that, but at least we get most of the cover art the way it's intended to be. So I got that one. We got Moondragon. It's a reprint of Invincible Iron Man number 52, I believe. 54. Check my notes here. I did write these down. So, but Invincible Iron Man number 54. This one here I do want to read. If I'm remembering right, this is the one where Moondragon first adopts that name. I really want to see this one. And also, it's weird seeing her earlier in her comic book career, because she looked really different. Next up is, this one really didn't make much sense to me, Odin Power. This reprints Thor number 349. The Odin Power really has not had anything to do with the Annihilation storyline. I mean, Beta Ray Bill is in Scourge. They were part of Annihilators. He was part of Annihilators after Annihilation Conquest. But overall, the Odin Power itself has had really nothing to do with any of the Annihilation events. So it's kind of weird that they did this one. Super Adaptoid. This reprints Tales of Suspense materials, anyway, from Tales of Suspense number 82 and 84. If my notes are right, yep, 82 and 84. Sorry to sort of break that fantasy there, but yeah, I write down notes. So this one, I do want to read this one. I don't have any of the Tales of Suspense books in any kind of reprints. I've got a lot of trade paperbacks. I've got a lot, over 50 or 60 essentials. I'm getting a good collection of epic books going. So I don't really have any Tales of Suspense, but this one I do want to check it out. I'm assuming it's going to be the first appearance of Super Adaptoid. Now, he didn't have anything to do with Scourge, but he was part of Annihilation Conquest. So there is that connection there. And lastly, Thor number 142. First appearance of Super Skrull. This one I do have in one of my essentials. Super Skrull was very instrumental in, I think, in pretty much in all the Annihilation stuff except for this one. So, good stuff, good read. Moving on, DC Dollar Comics. The Flash number 164. I'm not exactly sure what the significance of this was, but I grabbed it. It's only $1. I like the cover. I don't really read Flash. I think maybe in my collection I have maybe 1 or 2 Flash comics. He's not one of my favorite characters, but $1 book, a reprint, give me a chance to read something. I did kind of flip through this. I'm not sure what it leads into. I really don't know anything about it other than the fact that it's a $1 reprint of a Flash comic, so I grabbed it. What the heck? Why not? Tales of the Teen Titans, annual number 3. This is the Judas, the Judas Contract? This is book 4 finale, so this is the ending of it, and I didn't read this. I'm familiar with this storyline through the animated feature they did a while back, but the reason why they put this out was because also last week they wrapped up the Tales of the Dark Multiverse sort of mini non-event with Teen Titans, the Judas Contract, where in this one, Tara doesn't sacrifice herself. It doesn't really have a happy ending. She essentially just takes over the world and kills everybody because, well, she realizes that she's the strongest one in this world. So, great stuff. It had amazing art. The story was really good. Still not my favorite. My favorite of the whole run was The Death of Superman. That was the best one, in my opinion, out of all of them. But this one was pretty good. I do recommend it. Hey, last reprint I got actually this week. Came out last week, and it's not a Marvel or a DC dollar reprint. It's from Dynamite, and it's the first issue of The Boys. I've never read The Boys before. I read this one, and I think I may be grabbing the trades for it. I've had people for a long time tell me to check this series out, that it's something that I would really enjoy, would be able to get into. I always put it off for one reason or another, but when they put out a first issue for $1, it's really hard to resist that, and there's really no reason to not at least check it out. So, Dynamite, I'm going to be checking out the your reprints for it. I'm going to grab your trades for it. So that's cool. And moving on, let's do some independent books. Once and Future #5, actually picking up. Issue 4 seemed like it was losing a little bit of steam, and I figured, well, I'm probably going to end up dropping it. This one here, it picks up that steam again, so it's starting to get interesting. It's kind of confusing with all the names being tossed around, but it's picking up. The art is still solid, but the story is picking up, and I think we're getting close to the ending of it. It might be a 6-issue miniseries, I think. So I'm definitely curious to see how that ends. Middle West, issue 13. Another one that I thought, well, to me it felt like it was kind of losing steam as well, so I was getting ready to kind of drop it off my pull list. But with this issue, I don't know specifically, I couldn't tell you what it was about this issue, but after reading it, I'm going to stick with it for a little bit longer and see where it goes. Abel's in a very interesting place. He's had so much stuff happen to him that he's kind of given up. He's just like, whatever. I'm done dealing with things. But it doesn't seem like that's his nature to do that. So I'm thinking that in his situation right now, and with all the different people that are coming together to either help him or hurt him, he's gonna kick back into his old ways and just be that angry little boy that we saw at the beginning of this series. That was also fun to check out, and it'd also be nice to see him and Fox get back together again. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. All right, so moving on. This one I missed last week, but I was able to get it. And fortunately, I was able to get this cover for it. This is one of those moments where I actually did prefer a variant cover over the original cover. Something is Killing the Children. And this series is so much fun. This issue here was very intense. I mean, I know we're kind of getting ready to wrap this up. I have a feeling that this is only a 5-issue miniseries, so we got one more issue to go. I was looking at the solicits for February, and there was no issue 6 for February. There is a trade paperback that collects all these. So if you haven't checked this out, February is when the trade comes out for it, and I do highly recommend it. Go down to your local comic shop and let them know that you're interested in Something Is Killing the Children, the trade paperback. Some of these issues, some of the older issues, first and second issues, they went to multiple printings. Some are kind of hard to find. I'm sure they still have a pretty, not really high price tag, but they're above cover price. If you don't mind paying more than cover price, that's great. But I do recommend this one. You've got this, and we finally get her in her mask, which is something that I've been waiting for since the first issue, for her to actually just get that mask on and start going after this monster, whatever it is that's killing these kids. So now we're finally getting to that. The other cover that I grabbed that I liked more than the original cover was Basket Full of Heads. This is issue 3. Yeah, issue 3. The original cover was great. The main cover was great, don't get me wrong, but there was just something about this cover that really it caught my attention. It may just be out of the other covers. The other covers, the colors are kind of washed out, which is great for the art style, and it does match the tone of the story. But this one here with the vibrant covers just kind of stuck out to me, I guess, and that's why I like this one. So out of all of the Hill House comics that I've checked out, and admittedly I've only read this one and the first issue of Dollhouse Family. Dollhouse Family was good, wasn't enough to keep me interested in buying it on a monthly basis for the miniseries, so that one I'm planning on grabbing the trade for. This one I'm going to get the trade for just because I want to be able to hand it out to people and have them read it. The other ones that are going to come out, I figure I'm going to grab the trades for them, because if they're, even if the first issues are no good, they do have a tendency to pick up, so I'm going to definitely check those out. So then I also grabbed Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 46, which also means that I got the foil variant for it, which means I still am caught up on these. I'm able to get them all. I think what I may end up doing is once I have them all, I'll put them all up on the wall, maybe take a picture of them or something, and post it on my Instagram page. But this one here, this one has another one of those endings that just grabs you by the throat and says, now you gotta wait. Now you gotta wait an entire month to see what happens here. At the end of this issue, the Power Rangers that we've been following on Earth finally find out who the Omega Rangers are. And the way that they do it at the end of the issue is such an old school cliffhanger ending. I loved it. Of course, at the time, I was annoyed by it because I'm like, I want more. But, you know, it's one of those great little cliffhanger endings that we don't get too much anymore that I absolutely love. All right, what else? DC, He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse, number 2 of 6. Pretty good. You know, we're learning about all the other versions of He-Man, learning about them and that they all exist in the same multiverse, sort of like Archie and all that sort of stuff. So it's a fun little book. It is not really cut and paste, but it's very close to Spider-Verse, where you have all these different versions of He-Man, just like the different versions of Spider-Man coming together to face a common threat that is killing them all as they go through all these other universes. So it is sort of a copy of that, but with the added bonus that this version of Prince Keldor, who later becomes Skeletor, the version that's in this one here that we're following, actually his world where He-Man is evil, sort of like the anti-He-Man, he's the good guy. So that kind of switches things up a little bit. So a fun series. Only 6 issues, so I'm going to stick with it. Excuse me, I think I'm going to be coming down with a cold. I got my little boy had a cold, and my girlfriend got a cold. I managed to dodge the bullet, but I think I finally got hit. So we're going to wrap this up here with the endings of some other books. So figure final video of the year, final issues of these series. So we've got Guardians of the Galaxy number 12. Donny Cates wraps this up. And overall, the story was okay. You know, for as far as final issues go, I really didn't care for the last couple of pages because they were all double page spreads. I'm assuming they were throwbacks to the stuff that came before that Donny Cates was involved in with all the cosmic stuff. I didn't read half of it. I just read Guardians of the Galaxy. Cosmic Ghost Rider is a character I don't really care for. Silver Surfer Black, I checked out the first issue. I got the variant for it because I love the Ron Lim cover. I couldn't deal with the art inside it, so I didn't read any of that. So now I'm confused as to why Silver Surfer's black. It makes no sense to me, but whatever. That's a final issue. It was a great run. I do appreciate Donny Cates taking the Guardians of the Galaxy and treating them as serious characters and not as jokes as they had been for the past couple of years since those movies came out. So I do appreciate that. Next month, there is going to be a new creative team on the book, but they are starting over from issue 1. So that said, I'm done with the series. I have no interest in starting over from a first issue again. That doesn't interest me at all. I would rather have Guardians of the Galaxy number 13 as opposed to Guardians of the Galaxy number 1. So that is one of my deciding factors. I know some people might think it's kind of petty, but I'm sick of first issues. I want a series to last for years, and I want to get up to double digits. I want to get up to triple digits on books because I'm more interested in longevity as opposed to, you know, packaging these things so that they fit in the trade paperbacks. So that's my final issue for Guardians of the Galaxy. Sorry. Also wrapping up, and because I don't want to end on a bad note, 2099. It ended. It's pretty much all I can say about it. Oh, also had a really cool cover on 2099 Omega. A nice Doom 2099 cover. The Spider-Man books, I have no idea why they even put this on there. The series really had nothing to do with 2099. Heck, the entire thing had nothing to do really with 2099. The reveal at the end where it was Doom had captured Uatu, the Watcher, and he had done the spell, which changed everything to kind of erase all the heroes. I'm assuming so that he could be ruler of the world. I don't know. They really didn't explain it very well to me anyway. But all these books that we had been reading, the Punisher, the Conan, whatever the other ones were, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and Doom, all of them took place in an altered reality. Not an alternate reality, but an altered reality. And it was all so that Doom could protect himself or something. I don't know. They didn't really explain it. It was a total, to me, it was a complete waste of money. It had some great covers, because I don't like to say totally bad things about a series. It had some great covers, and I appreciate what the creatives were trying to do with it. But to me, fan of 2099, it was a swing and a miss. I'm sorry. If they want to do if they want to do another 2099 book, I will check it out. I will be a little bit more cautious because these books were $5 a pop, and really not worth the price. So, on the positive side, Scourge Annihilation wrapped up. This was a good read. This whole event, see, the people who did 2099, they needed to talk to these guys, these creatives here, because these guys knew what they were doing. They needed to go back and look at Annihilation, the original Annihilation, and Annihilation Conquest to see how you do these sort of self-contained events that just revolve around a specific number of characters, and you want to have it in a specific number of books. Now, granted, these ones, there was only 6 issues in the whole thing. You had your Scourge Omega and your Alpha and Omega. And you had 4 one-shots in the interim, in between them. Those one-shots moved the story forward. Those one-shots connected with what was established in Alpha. It made sense. It was cohesive. It flowed well. The art was great. The covers were amazing. The story was awesome. I mean, it was nice to see. And it was nice, but also scary at the same point to see that Annihilus, who has always had complete domination over the Negative Zone, met a threat that was so horrific to him that he needed to leave his own domain, come to the positive universe of the 616 to look for help, something that he never would ever do. I mean, we're talking about the guy who, in the original Annihilation, his forces wiped out the entirety of the Nova Corps in a few minutes. I mean, they just totally annihilated everything. So for a threat like this to come along, which was the Cancerverse, it shows that the Cancerverse, if they want to do like a major event in the future, they could use that concept, and it is a serious threat, especially being able to see different twisted doppelgangers of the Marvel heroes was really kind of fun. But I really enjoyed it. Annihilation Scourge was probably my favorite thing of the last couple of weeks. It's definitely my favorite event, I guess, of the entire year, because it was just so much fun. So, that said, we're going to toss some of these up on the wall and have a final look at the last wall that I'm going to have for this year. So let's pause this and get to it. Okay, and there we go. This is the last wall of 2019. Got a mix of Marvel, DC, Independence. Really, the only thing that's missing from this week are Alterna Comics. But we'll be having those next year. There's also some changes coming up for Alterna Comics that going to make. It's not going to hurt them that much. But we'll talk about some of that maybe next year. So this is it. Thank you, everybody, for watching my videos. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for supporting me in 2019. I hope that I am able to keep your attention. Actually, let's do it this way. There we go. Hey. So as I was saying, hopefully I can keep your attention. Hopefully I can keep your interest and keep your just kind of keep you as followers. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for commenting and liking them. I do appreciate it. I'm hoping that within the first half of 2020 that I'll be able to get to 100 subscribers on my channel. I think last time I checked I was at 73, which is awesome. It's far more than I expected. But it's been great. It's been really fun putting these videos together with you. It's been a lot of fun talking about comics with you and sharing what I buy on a weekly basis. Next year I'm hoping to be able to get into more of what I have in my collection. You know, I mean, here is, I don't want to show you too much of my messy room, but I've got a few boxes there. So I'm going to be going through these over the next year, kind of sharing some more things, because actually, yeah, 2020, it's what, 30 years? It'll be 30 years that I've been collecting comics, so I'm going to go through my collection and share everything that I've got with you. I've also got an unboxing video of my Earthworm Jim box. I want to have another box coming in probably the next week or two from the Marvelous box, so I have some trades to share with you. And yeah, I guess that's it. So again, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great Christmas. Hope you get all the comic book stuff that you deserve to get. So have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is you celebrate. I hope it's the best one for you. And have a safe and happy New Year. And we will see you in 2020 with some new comic books, some classic comic books, and just hopefully a lot of fun. Have a good one.